Shalom, beloved family. It's your girl Sophia, Spiritualite, and we're here with a I don't know, I'll call this like a mini lesson, but this is just something that I do. I had mentioned, wow, a long time ago, back when I first put the tarot and the astrology together, um, in the way that I did, um, that it was going to become necessary, or it was going to be at a certain time where you could use your chart to diagnose particular issues that you're having, and so that someone could, from a distance, be able to provide you with some relief for your dis-ease. And I have uh, I have been doing this for myself to pinpoint particular um, problems that I have and trying to resolve them. And so I'm going to basically show you how I do a consult of this type with myself, so that you could, basically see what the process is. And this is something everyone can do for themselves. I mean, I'm more than happy to help people or whatever. Uh, you know, of course, but I just wanted to give you this information, so because I did drop that in a video a long time ago and I never really followed up with it, even though I myself have been doing it for myself. So of course, none of this works without authorization from the Most High. None of this works without believing that you are what was it in here? Um, what is the term? I'm going to use the proper term. Um, that you are unwaveringly made in created with the light from that emanates from the Most High. So you don't, again, how would you develop this unwavering connection to the light? Psalm 51 every morning, um 7, 9, 40 days of fasting. And it doesn't have to be a hard fast, you guys. We just did a Daniel fast, very, very effective. um you know uh it just basic stuff to purify yourself, right? Spiritual bath, salt rinse, whatever the case may be. So if I'm advising anybody, that's where I'm starting with. Number one, you need to be doing Psalm 51 every morning. If you haven't done at least a 7-day fast, do a 7-day fast. And I will be recommending the Daniel fast to people because it's not that difficult. It's more of a mind thing, and you can, as the days go on, you realize that it's a mind thing and it's not anything else. And of course, making sure that you're connected with your day. So most people will know what day that they were born on. You need to for sure be wearing the color of that day on that day, and making sure that you have an airport, a landing place for that energy when it comes in that day. So once the baseline stuff is established, then I will go on to, all right, let's look at your chart. So for example, this is my chart, and as you can see, my chart is really weird in a lot of ways because everything is basically on one hemisphere. And also, I have quite a few things in Virgo, but I have more things in Scorpio than I do in Virgo. So even though I'm a Virgo, I'm a Scorpio like Virgo. So let me describe my problem. For the last 2 to 3 months, every Wednesday, I'm a Cocovite. So mind you, I'm also a Cocovite. So my sign is Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury, and I'm a Cocovite, which is ruled by Mercury, and my Mercury planet is in Virgo, which is ruled by Mercury. So I'm a heavy Mercury person, okay? So what I have noticed is for the last 2 to 3 months, every Wednesday I would wake up and it would just be a terrible day. There's no Wednesday that would be a good day. And so yesterday, today's Zedek. So yesterday I had enough of it. I said, well, I need to figure out what exactly is the problem. Because why is it that every Wednesday I wake up, I'm waking up late, I'm exhausted, crazy stuff happens. I can never go into Wednesday and have a good day on Wednesday, and I need to know what exactly the issue is. So, what I decided to do was take a look at my chart and see where my Mercury was. Well, lo and behold, my Mercury was in a Mercury sign. I said, okay, so I'm really just out of sync with Mercury. Like, there's no other way. I'm out of sync with my Wednesday energy. I'm totally out of sync. So I have to get back into sync with that energy. So the first thing I do is look at the angel that's over that particular degree on the zodiac. So mine is at 21 degrees of Virgo. So we have here at the bottom of the screen, this is 21 degrees of Virgo. And it says this spirit intelligence is regarded as the conveyance of fortune to mankind. He brings luck in games, competition at the stock exchange, and speculation and ventures of any kind. The spiritual light who has this head as a friend will have every wish fulfilled in the physical world. He will be fortunate and successful in everything he undertakes. This head also will also entrust him with methods which will give him happiness and contentment in any respect. So, when I read this, I immediately recognized this as accurate because anybody who knows me, this is pretty much everything that I do turns to gold. I've never had whatever it is I touch, it's just wow, this is great. This turns out, and I'm even to take stuff that's not going so great, turn it around and make it and turn it into something that no one else can do. This is natural to me and always has been natural to me. It's caused me a great deal of, creating a great deal of enemies because I didn't realize that everyone couldn't do that. This is a thing that I can do. And that's because my Mercury energy is in this angel and I'm a Mercury person. So this very fortunate, happy and everything, all that stuff is basically ingrained into my spirit. And so I feel disconnected from this. Now, I've done a lot of baths and all of that. I've done a lot of stuff, but I still feel that that's not what's happening right now. I'm feeling like I'm able to pull things together, but I'm not able. It's not easy. It's when you're fortunate, things just fall into your lap and you're like, "Oh, hey, this is great. All praise to the Most High." And you keep moving. I'm disconnected with that because I'm able to pull things together, but it's a extreme struggle. I'm working extremely hard to pull things together. And so what I decided to do was number one, I felt like I need to reconnect with my Kokavite energy, and I also need to connect with this particular angel. So this is what I did for this particular angel. You can see the angel's name there. I traced the sigil. I have a brown candle which I supercharged and anointed with my oil, and I wrote on there what I wanted from this angel. And then, of course, I use my pendulum to activate everything and to also speak to the angel directly. So that's on one side. And then for my Kokavite energy, as far as Mercury is concerned, I did the same thing. I did the sigil of Mercury. I asked for Uriel Enoch. I asked for exactly what I'm trying to accomplish based on what that energy is good for. And these two candles are, I'm going to use them as 7-day candles. Ordinarily, I would have gone to the store and bought 7-day candles, but I was on a time crunch. I couldn't get to the store before it closed, and I knew yesterday was COCAV. I wanted to get it done basically on COCAV. I didn't want to wait until midway through Zedek today to be trying to get this done, and then that window would close. So I indeed decided to go with what I could get from Hobby Lobby, which I like this because these will be if I have other issues, I'll be able to quickly draw this up, put this on, and set it, as opposed to having to go to, the metaphysical store, get a glass jar, which will burn for 7 days. I'm assuming this will probably burn for 7 days too, because once it gets down into the once it starts the sides start to burn down because it's got space inside the candle, then or we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that I supercharged both of these, called the spirits from the bottom and the top on both. Use the purple, use the brown to connect with this particular spirit. So another level I added was to actually use the pentacles from Mercury. So the ones that I decided to use for the candle that I lit for Uriel, I did the fourth pentacle of Mercury, which is to acquire understanding and knowledge of all things created, and to seek out and penetrate hidden things, and to command those spirits which are called aleatory to perform embassies. What does that mean? To work with the spirits on the other side to get to do things that you need to be done, which is something that again I've been talking about. So I use that to reinforce that which I have already been doing. And then for the um the 21 degrees of Virgo, I use the fifth pentacle of Mercury, which commanded spirits of Mercury and serves to open doors in whatever way they may be closed. Nothing it may encounter can resist it. So I put both of these pentacles not underneath the first of all, I use my pendulum to have them both activated. Then I put both of them underneath of the candle on the inside of the cup. So as the candle melts down, it melts onto it, making it like a seal, whatever the case may be. That's my approach. I got these cups, they're big enough. So I was going to draw the seals by hand, but it turned out to be a little bit too complicated because of all the small letters. So I just printed it out and consecrated it. Of course, I consecrated the papers that are on the front of here as well. And then I consecrated the pentacles, which you can't see down on the bottom. So um I just did this all well before. Let me finish the story. So so as I went to the store to get the this stuff, right? I ended up, first of all, I was told to help this lady, right? She asked, she needed a ride somewhere. Now mind you, I don't have a car. I'm driving a borrowed car. I'm supposed to be back home doing stuff. I give this lady a ride. Turns out she's homeless. So she's looking for a 24-hour laundromat to go to in St. Augustine, which if you've been to St. Augustine, there is none. That those rich folk don't have stuff like that there. It's not there. And so she didn't tell me where she was going when I picked her up. The angels told me to ask her if she needed some help. And so I ended up driving her down to St. Augustine and dropping her off in front of a Publix, and it was kind of like it took forever. Let me just put it this way. It took forever, and I was just in my mind like remembering all the things I had learned. Number 1, don't touch this person. You don't want to take their energy. Number 2, make sure you get something for it, which I did get something for it. Number 3, using my electromagnetic fluid to create a force field around myself so that that energy couldn't penetrate myself. I had my pentacle on. I had my stuff on, so I felt very well protected. And then when I realized that this was not going to be something that was going to end easily, I called my guardian angel in. I was like, look, this is enough. I've had enough of this. And so that's how I ended up. I said, look, I have to go. So where are you going to get out? Because I actually have to go. So I let her out at the Publix, took all her stuff out. I never touched her. When she got out the car, I didn't have my holy water on me. That was the one mistake I made. But as soon as I got home, I sprayed my seat with the holy water. I sprayed it with what is it called? My Florida water. I had some incense, tibble incense. I put it into the car while I was unloading all of my stuff, and then I felt like that energy was gone. When I got in the house, I took a shower with my witchcraft removal soap, and I did the salt rinse. So mind you, by this time I do all this stuff. It's basically like 12 o'clock. It's after 12 o'clock. It's like 12:30. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm already into the deck, but I did already, tell these spirits this is what I need to do today. So I just went ahead with my process of drawing the stuff, consecrating it, getting everything put together, light the candles, and so on and so forth. Because I have a previous relationship with all the spirits that I'm work with. Nobody had an issue. It wasn't a problem. I got everything done. My candles are lit. So I will let you guys know about how things progress. But I can say that by the time I woke up this morning, I already have, I did 2 videos, which is really good for me. And I was able to take my shower, and so far it's been a much better morning than it has been any Wednesday. But Thursdays are normally good days for me, so I don't typically have issues on Thursdays. And remember, in my chart, I was born during the hour of Jupiter, so I was born on Kocav, in the Kocav sign, in the Kocav day, but in the hour of Jupiter. So generally my Jupiter days go pretty good. My Zodiac days go very well. I don't have a problem with my Zodiac days. So following that kind of rough energy with Kokav, with the better energy of Zodiac, I'm hoping that this will work to my benefit. So this is the manner in which I would diagnose a spiritual dis-ease. And something that I heard that is really key to understand, a seer, Duke of Tears, was on Black Magic 363 show last night, and he said something like, you know, everything that's happening in the physical realm is really starting in the spiritual realm, but I hadn't thought about it in terms of this kind of thing which I was experiencing. And so um by diagnosing my disconnect with my Mercurian energy in the spiritual realm first, then it should work to be a full recovery in the physical realm, and I will go back to being, having that energy like I used to have, because I did indeed use my pendulum to ask if it was something I did to deserve this, or was just, you just get disconnected and you have to put forth a little bit of energy to reconnect. And it seems like one of those things, also so that I could have this information to bring to people. So this is what I actually did. Again, and I have done this. This is not the first time I did this. I actually did this when I found out about the lots of fortune. I diagnosed myself in a similar way. Like, I noticed I wasn't having success with what I was doing, so I did this whole thing with the to reconnect with that energy, that spirit which is over success on my chart, and that has proven successful. And so this is how I would diagnose when things are going on. I will look at your chart and see, or you can look at your chart and see, okay, what spirit is over which thing, and figure out how to actually resolve that issue so that it doesn't continue to manifest. Because a lot of times you're just out of sync. Even if you do baths, even if you pray every day, all of that stuff, that's not going to reconnect you with the angel that influences you in that way. And since we know we're really not, most of what we do is angelically, eh, we're really the meat suits for the angels, I guess, is a better way of saying it. Is like the angels are really like doing all the stuff, and we're kind of here for the ride. And so understanding that's, I mean, it's not that, uh it's not quite like that, but it's generally like that. So if you can figure out how to get into sync with the particular angel where you feel that there's a problem, then you can go back to that. Oh, what's that word again? Um, the providence. You can go back to having that connection with the providence that does not waver, and that's what all of this is. And connecting with the providence that does not waver is one of those things that takes thought. You have to think about it. So, for example, I noticed once I thought about it, oh, I need to connect with this spirit, I felt things starting to change. And so now that I have the candles and all the other stuff, but it was my thought, my acknowledging that I needed to reconnect with these energies in my life that actually started the ball rolling for change. And so that's just just some information I wanted to throw out there. So to the spirits who are here with us, you're invited to go in peace. To my beloved viewers, you're invited to be at peace, and always remember, the Most High is your peace. Shalom.